Welcome, I'm Chef Steve, and we're here at the Adaptive Services Center for the City of Scottsdale, and we're going to be making pumpkin curry today. You know, fall is upon us, and it's one of my favorite seasons. The leaves, the color changes, and then the flavors and the spices. And one of the things that I like is the Indian spices, because they remind me of all the colors of fall. And one of the dishes I'm bringing to my family this Thanksgiving is a pumpkin curry, so I thought I'd make it for you today. The first thing we're going to do is heat up some coconut oil. The reason I'm using coconut oil is because coconut oil is very indigenous to an Indian dish. We're going to use 1 tablespoon of coconut oil. I'm using unfiltered. Put it in the pot there. What I'm going to do is, now that the oil is heated up, we're going to add 1 cup of onions. And you get to hear that sizzle. We're going to let this sizzle and saute for about 4 to 5 minutes. You want to get the onions soft. I'm going to add a little bit of salt to the onions here. One thing you don't want to do is put your garlic in first, because garlic will tend to burn much faster than onions. You want to get your onions sauteed and soft and then put the garlic in on top so the garlic just softens up. Put in 4 cloves of garlic. Okay, now our base of our onions and our garlic are ready to go. First thing we're going to add are the carrots. I have 1 cup of carrots here. I'm going to dump it into the pot. We're going to let those saute for about a minute too. We want those to soften up. Carrots, of course, are a bright orange color, which is the color of fall. As you can tell, all the ingredients I'm using are the colors of fall today. So this dish is very fall looking. Next, we're going to put 1 can of rinsed garbanzo beans. You want to put them in a colander and then rinse them before you add them. Pour them in. Stir those around with the onions and the garlic and the carrots. Boy, this is starting to smell delicious. The great thing about this dish is you can replace the pumpkin with butternut squash. You can also use canned pumpkin for this too, if your dexterity won't allow you to cut the pumpkin up or the butternut squash. For today's recipe, I'm actually going to be using a combination of pumpkin and butternut squash that I found pre-cut, which made it very easy for me. We're going to add the pumpkin and butternut squash now into the recipe. Now comes the fun part. We're going to start adding our spices. We're going to add 1 tablespoon of curry powder, heaping tablespoon, sprinkle it in. We're going to add 1 teaspoon of turmeric. I'm going to add a ½ teaspoon of cayenne pepper because I like a little bit of kick, a little bit of spice to my curry. You can leave this out if you don't like cayenne pepper. And as you can see, these beautiful colors in here. You just kind of want to mix it around. Make sure all the squash and the pumpkin gets coated with the powder. Next, we're going to add the vegetable broth. Do 4 cups of vegetable broth, okay? Pour it all in. Then we're going to bring our stovetop up to high. We're going to bring it up to high, bring it to a boil, then you're going to cover it and let it simmer for 25 minutes. I'm going to add a little black pepper. And the last thing I'm going to add to cut a little bit of the heat is some acid, which I chose to use lemon. I've already taken the seeds out of this lemon, so I'm just going to squeeze it right in. I use the lemon a lot in my cooking. I'm going to use 1 whole lemon. The acid in the lemon cuts the spice, cuts the sweetness, and it adds a lot of great flavor to a dish. Now that the curry is boiling, I want to put the lid on it to keep the steam inside. I'm going to, as you can see, crack it just a little bit on the edges here so the steam can escape. This will help thicken the curry and help bring the flavors into it. And now we wait as the aromas fill our house with the smell. Okay, it's been 25 minutes. Now we're going to chuck our pumpkin curry. That smells delicious and looks even better. One of the things you can do is you can use your knife and you can make sure that the cubes of butternut squash or pumpkin are knife tender. Then you just put it back into the dish here. That way you know it's done. Once the pumpkin curry is completed, you turn the stovetop off, and while it's cooling down, I'm going to show you a great presentation for your holiday table. Let's go check that out. Okay, thanks for joining me today. That's a wrap, and this is how you make pumpkin curry, a great side dish for your family holiday. I hope all of you enjoy a wonderful holiday season, and I'll see you next year. All my best. Bye.